Even though indie games don't usually have the funds to hire their own personal John Williams to score their games, they still manage to come up with some pretty awesome music. In fact, it was actually an indie game that inspired me to do the show in the first place. So what better way to show my respect for them than to put them up on a list and harshly judge them against one another? That seems pretty fair. But before I start this thing, I just wanted to say, we're dealing with all kinds of different music here, so I'm not judging it on the quality, or how well it represented the genre or the game at all. These are just my personal favorites. Also, if I've never heard of the game, or I've never played it, it's not on the list. Well, because I've never heard of the game, or I've never played it. I'm not usually a fan of the point-and-click adventures, but this game, I'll tell you what. I got a soft spot for robots and metal things, so I had an awful lot of fun toting this innocent little robo thing throughout the junkyard of Machinarium. The music just made it that much more fun. This had a lot of echoing metallic sounds, so it feels like the world around you is just kinda naturally making the music. The whole time I'm playing, I'm just clicking around with wide eyes going, "Ooh, isn't that so cool?" It's actually pretty cool that a game about robots doesn't really have too many electronic sounds. It's like heavy metal without being heavy metal! I'd say overall, somewhat creepy, really atmospheric, and a little bit of whimsy. There's that word again! Whoa, I didn't know Silent Hill was an indie game. Oh, it's not. Lone Survivor is a pretty sweet 16-bit survival horror game with all kinds of nods towards Silent Hill. Echoing guitar, the sudden creepy, screechy sounds, eerie semi-silence, this game has all the standard ins and outs of Silent Hill's atmosphere. Considering I never really played much of the Silent Hill games, and that I'm a huge fan of 16-bit sprites, this is a great indie alternative to Silent Hill. One thing I thought that was really cool about the soundtrack is how it'll hang on to one chord for a really, really long time, so that when the music changes, it sounds so much more abrupt. I normally don't like jump scares, but oh my god! Like I was trying to say, I don't like jump scares much, but forget it. Man, this game's music just oozes with cool, and all the other things that meat oozes. But I digress, whatever. Super Meat Boy is a total nod to all things retro, while still keeping it fresh. Like meat. And the music is a great reflection of that. There's a whole bunch of electronic chiptunesy music mixed in with modern electric guitars and other heavier sounds. It's a kick-ass mix-up that'll get you right in your meat. Also, I like that when you die, the music keeps playing. You beat a level, the music keeps playing. Music ain't got time for you, it's just gonna keep going, so you best keep up. Hey, you think we could fit another meat pun in here? No? Meat. He's made of meat. Oh no. Oh no. This is gonna be one of those games, isn't it? One of those, oh, let's just listen to the nice soft music, isn't it pretty? And why is that lady singing about such sad things? And where did this gorgeous ass piano come from? And why am I crying? Games, isn't it? This is one of those soundtracks that likes to take its time and sit in the background, being all atmospheric and pretty, but then out of nowhere, you just get this incredibly sad song. It's one of those songs that just creeps up at you at the perfect time when emotions are high and it gets really under your skin. Music is supposed to make you feel a certain way, and the fact that the soundtrack can pull out such a powerful emotion means it's doing its job damn well. I don't care who you are, you play this game, you cry. It's that simple. But it's okay to cry. It's what real men do. Isn't that right, Mr. Slum? Yeah, I guess it's okay to cry. If you like Mega Man music, you're gonna love this. This is another game on the list that makes use of a chiptunesy kind of music. Another retro throwback style game, VVVVV, has adventurous sound to it. It can make you want to keep pushing on and playing hard. This is a great sample of how chiptunes can be used for modern games. It's one of those soundtracks that you listen to a lot, even outside the game. Even that one song that's just a backwards mix of another song on the soundtrack, that's kind of weird, but kind of cool, but whatever, it works. I don't really have much else to say about this one, except it's awesome. Oh, it's even got really cool pause music. Check it out. This game is my own personal Pavlov experience, and I don't even need to be playing this game. I just hear this opening riff, and bam! I am hooked. This song actually is the reason I started to get interested in video game music. Maybe I just wasn't mature enough to notice at the time, but this is when I really started to realize how powerful video game music is. So my favorite types of electronic music are house and trance. This soundtrack is loaded with it. Oh, the consistent beat and the far out sounds of this game is nothing short of hypnotic. Pretty. I do feel like I need to add these two in as honorable mentions. Braid and Bastion.
Come build that wall up to the sky.
I kept both these games off my list for the same reason. They would have one or two gorgeous songs that really stood out, but then the rest of the soundtrack blurred together a little too well. It made them really lackluster for me. I really enjoyed each of the soundtracks, but they're not on my top 7. If I did a top 10 list, it would be mixed in, but this is top 7. Because 7. Jesus fucking Christ, Journey, just listen to this. The way it just starts with one lonely melody, slowly joined by more string instruments, and it just builds and builds, flowering into this gorgeous compilation of complementing orchestrated sounds, and this, my friends, is only the first minute and a half of this masterpiece of a soundtrack. The longer you sit with this game, the more the music will sink in, and it becomes a physical element of the gameplay that runs alongside you while you slide through the sands or holds your hand, supporting you through the harsh world and winter around you, and finally celebrates your ascension while you reach the summit. Austin Wintory wrote and composed this soundtrack, and I'm sure he had one hell of a muse. I plan on doing a full review of this game at some point, so I really won't go much further. But goddamn, Journey, you're so good. So, anyway, those are my top 7 favorite indie game soundtracks. P.S. I know Minecraft isn't on this list. I do like the music. I like it a lot. But I didn't put it on this list because I kind of already did a review of it. So if you want to check it out, it'll be right over there.